Good day. Sitting in the shed and I have a grasshopper on my knee. He's getting ready to jump, isn't he? Oh, what a beauty. What a beauty. Oh, look at that. Oh, if I can get any closer. Oh no. He's gone. Well, that was rather lovely to have a grasshopper on one's knee. I guess he must have jumped onto my knee as I was sitting down, because I don't think I'd have brought it in, because I think it would have moved, you know, because that's what happens when you're moving on the grass, when you're walking along the grass here. You know, if there are grasshoppers, they notice you. They must feel the vibration, I guess, and they jump out of your way, which of course is really, really good. Mainly frogs will do the same, but I need to be a bit more careful where my feet are with the amount of frogs on the plot at the moment. But it is hot today. The shed says 37.5. I think I looked at the weather and it said it was going to be about 28 degrees. So the shed is hotter because the thermometer is near where it's getting direct sun, so that's why it's hotter. But yes, of course, what does hot weather mean? Hot weather means watering. And even though we've got quite a few things dying back now, there are still things that need watering. You know, I'm not watering the beans anymore. They will sort of do their own thing. I am watering the courgettes because they're still producing. I'm not watering the cucumbers because we have one more to pick and then seed saving of 3 others. So yeah, all the plants that I sorted out on the various benches last week have all been given a good water. I'm busy tomorrow, so I'm unlikely to get down here. So I've left water in the tray so that if it is hot again tomorrow, which it's forecast to be, they've got plenty of water. Any of the seedlings or plants that we've got to put out, like the turnips and the Nero di Toscana and Portuguese Cabbage cross, they've all been given a good water. The squash has been given a good water, and also tomatoes. And of course in the poly it's had a good water as well. But that is, you know, what you need to do when suddenly you go back to really warm weather. And we're supposed to have a week of this. So we will see. I'm a great believer in looking at weather forecasts and checking them. I'm not sure whether I'm a great believer in completely trusting them. And in fact, I don't. But I think this plume of hot weather is going to be here for the week and into the weekend. So we will see. So we will need to do more watering than we have been doing through July and August, which of course were unusually wet months for us, or certainly unusual for the last sort of 5 or 6 years, where we've had drought even at this late stage quite often. I had a lovely gift. I'm doing really well with people being just lovely at the moment, and that's fantastic. And look, iris rhizomes. So I've always wanted to have some iris. They were, let me put them down. They were, and I assume still are, one of Mum's favourite flowers. She loves lily of the valley, so that's why I have that lily of the valley. But yeah, she also used to love iris, and bearded iris in particular. And these are bearded iris that have been given to me by a fellow plot holder who sort of almost borders our plot. And she grows the most amazing ones each year. And she tends them, you know, she digs them up sort of every other year and thins them out, so they do really, really well. And of course, when she does that, you get given rhizomes, which is lovely. I've always said no before, but I know that we've got a trough free, and what I'm going to do is put compost into that trough and then plant these rhizomes into that trough, because still hoping that we're going to be moving, and therefore, you know, a trough is going to be easier to take with us when we do eventually move than digging things out of the ground again, because these have been dug out of the ground. So yeah, I'm just going to get on with that. And what I'm doing is I will be, let me take that one out. So we've got this one that we looked at. Oh, so these are obviously the roots. This is the rhizome. And if that wasn't there, then this rhizome would hopefully grow. You can see it's already growing. And what I'm going to do is make sure that these roots are down in the compost that I'm going to put into the trough. And then this will sit very near the surface, sort of on the surface of the compost. That's what I've been told to do. I've not grown them myself before, so I will be intrigued to see how they do. But first of all, I'm just going to fill up the trough with compost, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to put 6 in here. I've got 3 others here which I'll put in a different pot. Trying to lay the root like it would want to be laid. Don't think I've done that one very well. Let's do that, do that. That one I didn't do well either. Lay that one like that. This one's got a much shorter root. Right. Move those out the way. There's a bit of root there. Tuck that down, and there. Tuck that in. Some root here, just going to put that down. Right, I think that'll do. I put them on the lower shelf of the bench here, so I will remember to water them and not let them dry out. The other 3 I did put into this bowl here. So fingers crossed. And I think these are going to be our next job, which are leeks that should have gone in quite a while ago. And I've decided that I'm going to put those into the raised bed where we sowed the carrots that haven't germinated well, and where we put in the perpetual spinach the other day. So these will sit on the other half of that bed. I think that's quite a good idea. But you know what, that's going to have to wait for another day, because I need to get back to my desk to do a few other things, and we'll also be sending the Richard and Paul newsletter, our first newsletter, out later on today as well. So I need to give that another read and make sure that everything is spelt correctly. Right, see you very soon. Bye. Good day. This was our tomato bed, and as you may remember, I hooked them all out because blight was taking hold. Oh, look. We got flowers coming on here. Yay. I don't know what they're called, but I got those at the gate sale. How easily distracted I am. So you can see in here there's quite a few weeds, and it's my job today to weed this. And even though the sun is sort of over there, these leaves that are still on the runner beans, though they've thinned down quite a lot since yesterday, are giving a little bit of shade in this area. So I'm going to get on and do that in the shade. I'm also going to get on and do that without showing you what I'm doing. I'm just going in with my hand fork and weeding these out as deeply as I can. And the reason that I'm not showing you on camera is I actually broke my camera phone holder the other day, so I'm using a selfie stick that Courtney and Dave sent a couple of years ago. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to actually show you how I'm weeding, but you've seen me weed before, and if you've got any questions, please let me know, and we'll have a look at this bed once I've finished weeding it. That bed has been weeded, and I think we'll be planting the Nero di Toscana / Portuguese cabbage cross here, or some of them at least, later in the week. I've also gone into this brassica bed and done some cursory weeding in here too, because there's obviously space in here. I think this verbascum, which is in its last sort of flowering now, really coming to an end, I think if I take that out, that's going to give more space for brassicas as well. And then that would mean that we could net these. Think the brassica, if you think that the verbascum won't be there, it means we can net both these beds. I mean, it will mean obviously that in this bed here we'll have some old brassicas and newer brassicas, younger brassicas, but I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem. In fact, I don't see it as a problem at all. Gosh, I don't know if it's how I'm holding this, but that looks really wonky, that bed, doesn't it? I think it's sunk down this end over a number of years. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Right, another job for me to do. These are our leeks that should have gone in ages ago. These are leeks that we were given, and these are going to go into the raised bed by our other bench on the other side of the plot, where we sowed the perpetual spinach and the carrots and fennel over the last sort of 6 weeks. Half of the bed is still available, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to split these up into individual leeks, and then I've got a pipe which I'm just going to make a hole with, and then I'll be dropping these in. You can most probably see there's a sort of matrix of holes there. I've watered the surface initially and then used this pipe to make holes, literally going in about 6 inches, wiggling it around and then pulling it out carefully to try and make sure that the soil doesn't drop in at the moment. And here we've got, well, over here are the leeks that I've separated, and what I've also done is trim back the roots. You can see that these roots are sort of quite short, they're only a couple of centimeters, and all I'm going to do now is pop it into the hole. Oh, sorry, it would help if it was in the center. and push it down. So let's grab another one. So popping it down till it reaches the bottom. That's 2 down, and we've got about another 36 or something to go. So yeah, I'll get on and do that and then show you them once they're all in. These are all now in their individual holes, and I'm going to use the watering can without the rose. I'm just going to use the spout to put some water into each of these holes so that some of the soil from the hole falls down and secures these leeks in at the root. And then over the coming days I'm going to make sure that I give these all a really good water. We're touching 30 degrees for the next 5 days, I think, something like that. So everything that we have either sown or planted out, or even in the beds like the one that I did earlier that we're going to be planting things into, I'm going to be giving those a real good water, because when I plant out the Nero di Toscana crossed with Portuguese cabbage plants, I don't want the ground to be too dry below. In fact, I don't want the ground to be dry below. We'll give them a really good water when they go in, as we're going to do with these leeks. But yeah, even better if the soil is already damp. Right, I'm going to give these a water with the spout rather than the rose of the watering can. Hopefully I caught on camera me putting water directly from the spout of the watering can into each of the planting holes. Then I reattached the rose and filled up the watering can twice and sprayed all of that over this section of the bed. And there's little indentations where the planting holes were, but most of them have been filled up. And as I say, we'll keep them well watered over the coming days. I'm pleased to have got those 2 jobs done. Maybe not sensible doing it in the high heat of the sun. Mad dogs and Englishmen and all that, even though I'm British, not English. The sun is quite strong and I'm squinting a bit, so apologies for that. Hopefully my attachment will be back tomorrow, and even though that won't help my squinting, it will help the wobbliness of most of these bits of footage. But look, I'm going to leave it here for this part of this week's A Week at the Plot. If you're on Planet Vegetarian, there'll be other segments through the week, and I will have another upload along in a few days' time on YouTube as well, which covers the rest of the week. If you've got any tips or comments or questions, please do put them down below in the comments. And I will see you very soon for further segments of A Week at the Plot. And wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and however your sunshine is, whether it's bright or not, I hope your gardening and growing and allotmenteering is going well. And I'll be back with you pretty soon. Bye.